Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, do individuals with narcissism tend to look for certain characteristics in romantic partners? If you find this video to be interesting or helpful, please like it and subscribe to my channel. That way you won't miss anything new. Now, when we talk about this construct of narcissism, sometimes we think of the disorder, narcissistic personality disorder. Now, narcissism runs on a continuum. It has several different characteristics associated with it. Narcissistic personality disorder is a mental disorder and is conceptualized as having extreme personality traits related to narcissism. So narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder are really two different constructs, although of course there's a lot of overlap there. Now, we know that narcissism, whether it's subclinical narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder, tends to interfere with romantic relationships. And it's fairly easy to see why there would be some level of interference. If we look at the symptom criteria for narcissistic personality disorder, for example, we see characteristics like exploiting people interpersonally, a sense of entitlement, envy, grandiosity, lack of empathy, and arrogance, all of which of course could interfere with relationships. And if we look at associated characteristics of narcissism in general, we see characteristics like being vindictive or having a lot of antagonism. Again, fairly clear to see why this would make romantic relationships challenging. Also, narcissism is associated with a low commitment level in relationships, although a lot of the research on this has been looking at individuals who are dating as opposed to married. But we see that this low commitment may be explained by this overvaluing of certain elements of a relationship like physical enjoyment and undervaluing other aspects like emotional connectedness. Now, to look at this particular question, do individuals with narcissism select certain characteristics in romantic partners? I'm going to be using an article that was published in 2016 by Lavner and colleagues. And this particular article looked at married couples. So to start with, I'm going to take a look at the theories that are currently out there in terms of narcissism and what type of characteristics they look for in romantic partners. There are essentially two theories. There's the similar theory and the dissimilar theory. So with the similar theory, individuals with narcissistic traits tend to look for other individuals who are confident, ambitious, and they're not particularly concerned with how considerate somebody would be. So if we align this with the five-factor model of personality theory, an individual who has narcissistic traits would look for high extraversion and low agreeableness. Now we look at the dissimilar model. Here the theory is that individuals who have narcissistic traits would be looking for someone who's easy to manipulate. So putting that in terms of the five-factor model, high neuroticism and low extraversion. So what's interesting here, when we look at this similar versus dissimilar theory, there is no clear evidence to support either theory. So individuals who have narcissistic traits don't seem to look for any particular type of romantic partner as far as personality theory. Now, the particular study I mentioned earlier looked at married couples as opposed to individuals who are dating. And we might think there's a different result here. But these results show that when we look at married couples, there is no type there either. So we don't see a type with dating, and we don't see a type with married couples. Now, this particular study also looked at what they referred to as marital trajectory. So this tells us that marital satisfaction could change over time, and they looked at how narcissistic traits may affect that. Now here, narcissistic traits were associated with a decline in marital satisfaction, and this was over a period of 4 years. So really just the early part of the marriage was analyzed in this study. So when we look at the research literature, we don't see a clear picture of how narcissism affects relationships from a few different angles. We really need more studies that look at long-term outcomes and really just look at narcissism in romantic relationships in general. I hope you found this description of narcissism and romantic partner selection to be interesting. Thanks for watching.